Hello and a warm welcome back to Royce Reports. And as you can tell, this is a bit of a different kind of video. Some of you may know that I posted a video a couple of weeks ago about universities and whether it's still a fair deal. Is it a scam, essentially? So after I posted that video, I got this email from a former professor who studied in academia for over 50 years. And I thought it was just worth putting into a video for itself because it just adds so much to the story. So for context, his name is John. He studied in the 1960s, became a lecturer in the 70s, and then he retired as a professor and a dean. So it's fair to say that he's seen the entire system change. He told me that universities don't just teach students anymore. Undergraduate courses are more of a source of income. So it basically means that the more students that they recruit, the more money that they're going to bring in, and that changes the sort of incentive structure of university sort of being a place where you go to better yourself and make yourself more employable. He also said that as universities expanded, standards became uneven. Some universities still attracting the highest level of students, like Oxbridge and Russell Group universities, and others, the majority of other universities in the UK, have adapted to different entry levels. This came from a big shift in the 1960s, where more and more universities sort of started to open and become more accessible. So that basically sort of means that your experience at university and what you get out of it more depends on where you go rather than what you study. But this in particular stood out to me the most. He said that the most dissatisfied students were the ones with the least contact time. So that means less teaching, less support, and it's the same price. So that's where the fair deal question really lands with John. And I think this is a really interesting direct quote. He says, when dissatisfaction sets in, it may even become self-fulfilling if the student's enthusiasm and desire to do well become stunted because of whether they're getting a fair deal or not. He says that the cost of maintaining the infrastructure of an underperforming university may not be different from that of a highly rated institute. However, the latter institutes can rely on their highly recognised academic staff to bring in additional income from funded research projects, which can make a huge difference. The research brings in more staff who then contribute more to teaching, and the research also brings in international leaders who will offer supervision of undergrad projects, etc. And this independently funded research can provide a significant uplift to the undergrad experiences and can make key contribution to the undergrad experience, which is often overlooked at the time of the undergrad recruitment. He didn't call university a scam, but he did say this: students accept university as an act of faith. And if that experience doesn't match what they were promised, well, that's when the problems start. So it really seems to me that university isn't really a scam. It's just some institutes, a lot of institutes, you aren't getting the same value education for the same price as those Russell Group and Oxbridge universities. As an umbrella term, university isn't necessarily for the elite anymore. It's for everybody, but everyone pays the same price, and some people are getting a much better education, much better results in employability than others, depending on course, where you study, and quality of teaching. Then you can link that back to the original video with Macaulay, who went to a Russell Group university and dropped out after the first year because he just didn't feel like he was getting his value for money. So maybe the final question of this project isn't whether university is a scam, it's whether it's the deal that you pay for and that what you expect from university actually matches the reality of what you're getting out of it. And I think that really, just like John mentioned, really strongly mentioned, it really depends where you go. And if you go to an elite university, you're more likely to end up with a more valuable degree or something where you can get something out of it in the future. And I think that's a really interesting point.